Welcome along to Obviously Fight Talk episode 38, brought to you and filmed as always in the beautiful Whiskey Fair here in Dunleary. If you want good food, you want a good pint, get down to the Whiskey Fair. I promise you we're not at the afters of a wedding. We just have a white drape because there was strippers on last night where we film. Nice smell, isn't there, of oil?
And smell of shame.
Smell of shame. As always, we're brought to you by MMAmix.com. For all your MMA needs, check them out. They're obviously good because they're with Obviously Fight Talk. And hello and welcome to our new sponsor, Fight Store Ireland, the fighter's choice. For all your fighter needs in one place, check them out. That's fightstoreireland.ie. So, lads, welcome along and thanks as always, hashtag win decision, Mr. Rob Palin.
Thank you too. Cheers.
Big Daddy Crazy Carl Doran.
Back. It's that name's just getting longer and longer.
Yeah. He's back. He's out of the man bed.
Yeah.
Sick last week. You okay now,
I was in a fucking cruel state. I wouldn't mind. My ma went on holidays and all, so I was left on my own. I had to wash my own balls.
Had to wash my own balls. I was concerned for his health but yeah, he has to wash his own balls. Right, so this week we've a bit of a crazy rundown. It's a little speckled. We're opening time for people, so we'll have a quick fire news as always. We're going to speak about 204 that's going down next week in the UK or the UK to some people. We will be joined by fighters from that later on. So lads, let's just kick it off with the quick fire news. It's been quite a busy week. So Rob, are you ready with your ding ding? Right, so here we go. So UFC 205 in the Madison Square Garden press conference, Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez even was announced. This week we had massive news with the announcement of Conor versus Alvarez at 205. This will probably make history as Conor has a chance to become the first fighter to ever hold two weight class belts consecutively. So we've 2 minutes. I think this 2 minutes is going to be filled briefly, so hit that button. What do we think of the fight?
It's a very, very good fight. You have a lot of people out there saying that for Conor, that's an easy fight. But I don't think they mean easy fight as in Conor's going to steamroll him. I think they mean stylistically. It's one of the better fights for Conor at 155. It's a great fight either way. If Eddie Alvarez turns up where he's willing to fucking grind and put a pace on Conor, then Conor could be in trouble. But if Eddie tries to strike him, there's literally Conor will fucking steamroll him.
Yeah. It's interesting because before Eddie, I took your word again. Before this fight happened, Eddie was talking about people standing with Conor, and he's like, if I fought Conor, there's no way I'd stand with him. Yeah. But then after his last fight, he said that he wanted to start standing with people. He wanted to strike. He wanted to make it a bit more exciting.
Yeah.
So, which way is he going to go?
That's that criticism from his past fights as well.
Exactly.
As possibly there.
If you're his coach, you're going to say wrestle with him 100%. 100% wrestle with him. So it'd be interesting again to see how the cardio holds up for Conor. See what style Eddie comes in with.
I loved Conor's answer to that as well in the presser. One of the journalists asked Conor, obviously wrestling will be our weakest game. We seen that get exploited against Chad Mendes, and Conor was like, yeah, and what the fuck happened to Chad Mendes? So it's a great fight to actually look into and basically try to break down and see who's gonna come out on top. Pretty much stylistically is great. What do you think, Noel?
I haven't said a thing. How long have we got? For me, when I first seen this, and especially with the press conference, I thought McGregor's in his fucking head here already. You can see it. It's rocking. You can see it already. For me, it's a heavy fight. Alvarez is saying he's going to stand and strike him. He's going to exchange with him once and then feel that left hand and then just go, I don't want the part of this, and he'll turn in. But in fairness, his last fight against the Sonic, he looked absolutely out of this world. So a crazy hard fight. And rolling on from that news, Jose Aldo. Hold on. We actually breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to be joined by Daniel Movaheady.
Yeah. Oh shit!
Yeah. He's making his triumphant return.
So we'll edit this a little bit now. But
I missed Dan so much.
Yeah,
I can't believe we're actually
might get him first goal. You never know.
Yeah,
here we go.
Come on, Dan.
Answer
the call. Answer that call.
Somebody answer the phone.
Oh.
Hello, Dan.
Hello.
There he is.
So don't say curse words.
How are you?
We're very good. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Tired, but good.
Good.
We literally just started, so we've just done the first quick fire news. So we'll let you have your spiel on it, because do you want to put the camera on?
So we can see his beautiful face.
We obviously spoke about Conor. We're not at a wedding, by the way. This is just a nice background. How are you, my man?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, we're not bad. Yeah, we're good.
We're here too, but I don't know if you can.
I was watching you last night. That's Carl.
Yeah, dirty cold on.
I was watching you last night in all your glory. Good work.
Thank you very much.
We'll talk about that soon. So the first thing we talked about was Eddie Alvarez, Conor McGregor, and the press conference. So we've had our time. So
30 seconds. Go ahead.
You have your go there. So go for the red panty.
Yeah, that's all right. I think it's going to be a great fight. I don't know. The thing I took of it from the press conference, Alvarez did look. I don't know. Couldn't get his words out really. I don't know whether that's because he had the strong Irish crowd there in New York or what. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting fight. Put it that way. What's even more interesting, the fact that Aldo wants to either leave UFC or retire. That's the one that took over.
Stop skipping ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, but what's your
new to this now?
What's your thoughts? Yeah, fuck's sake, you never listened to the show. What's your thoughts on the fight? Your first instincts. What's your go-to?
I reckon Conor second round's going to win.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's my prediction. If that's what you was asking for, that's what.
Yeah, no, we just see your original. When I first seen, I'd said I thought he'll knock him out in the first round. He looked like he was in his head, but since we've heard different things, listening to Talking Brawls and all, it's a little different. So anyway, let's move on. So that has to extend to 3 minutes now that there's a load of us.
Yeah.
So Jose Aldo, see what we done there by shutting you up. Also this week made the announcement that he wants out of his UFC contract. He even went as far as to say that he's going to retire from MMA altogether and pursue other sports.
Yeah.
So I do think this is going to be an interesting topic with all of us here. I think we're all going to have different opinions. So fire away, gents. Let's give Dan his first thoughts on it.
Again, like I said, I understand where he's coming from. You know, he beat Frankie Edgar, and I think he was hoping that he'd be next in line again to fight Conor. But again, styles make matches, and they've obviously thought Alvarez would be a good fight in New York. I don't know, man. It's a hard one, and then there's talks about him taking UFC to call. I can't see it, and I can't see him retiring. I reckon they'll hopefully they'll negotiate something, get him to fight one more fight, and then put the Conor fight in there as well. But who knows? But he's too old to have a football career, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's not the first time somebody was told they're getting a title shot and then didn't get it.
Yeah.
Which is not very fair, but it has happened an awful lot.
Well, look at Misha Tate. Misha Tate was meant to get a title shot against Ronda Rousey, wasn't she? And then Holly Holm ended up having it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's happened a lot of times, so it's not going to be the last time. It's not the first time.
Well, my thing about it is Jose lost his title fight to Conor, and Khabib lost his title fight to Eddie Alvarez. Khabib posted two pictures of two contracts for 205 and 206 to fight Eddie Alvarez. So Khabib, this is my argument. Jose's thrown his toys out of the pram, right? And there's a lot of people talking shit on the internet and stuff like that, right? People always do that anyway. Fans are fickle as fuck. But, like, Jose Aldo was a great champion. He deserves great respect. He will go down as an all-time MMA legend.
Absolutely.
But, you know, since Conor sparked him in 13 seconds, he had one fight, right? And you know, he won that fight convincingly, but it's very hard to sell a fight where you've knocked a bloke out after 13 seconds. If you'd sold that fight 2 months later, 3 months, you can say, yeah, he caught me cold. But when almost a year has passed trying to sell that fight, it's a tough sell.
I don't think it's a tough sell.
No.
Personally, I don't think it's a tough sell.
Like, it's so up in the air with the second fight, because it was in 13 seconds. We didn't actually get to see what their fight would be like.
I'd love to see what happened.
Give all credit to Conor there.
Yeah,
that was a fantastic dig. But like, it is what it is. But I'd be interested to see the second fight, because if we see the Conor that turned up against Nate Diaz in the second fight, and we see the Jose Aldo that we've seen in the past, that could be one of the best fights in history. I'd be interested to see that rematch.
Yeah,
but
we are coming from a different perspective, though.
Yeah.
You do have to, like, from what you're saying is for the casual fan. Oh, this fella lost in 15 seconds or whatever it was, 13 seconds. For us, it's like, yeah, that happened, but imagine what could happen if they had 2-3 rounds.
John Cavan himself has said he'd love to see him fight Jose Aldo to see where the fight would go. Yeah. But like, at the same time, I said this, not that I'm, high five myself ranting, but after the fight, I did say the next thing that'll happen will be Conor McGregor, Eddie Alvarez, New York. I did say it, like, if this was a mic, But yeah, no, I nailed it on the head. Fair play to you now. Don't all join in at the one time. But like, this is such a big fight, and it's the whole thing of super fights. If it makes money, it makes sense.
Very nice.
Of course it does.
So moving on then, and we sort of touched on it in that, but Khabib, just Khabib, is fighting Michael Johnson. It was also announced at the UFC 205 press conference in the most casual way ever.
I forgot.
It was like Dana, so, yo, New York, welcome along, whatever. And then went, oh yeah, by the way, Khabib's fighting Michael Johnson. But anyway, here we go. So, like, that's, technically, Khabib, if he can stay injury-free, he's gotta have to be the number one guy, isn't he? And this is Michael Johnson came off a good victory. So it's a fight that makes sense for number one contendership, really.
Yeah, because I think as much as a lot of people that watch mixed martial arts, they know who Khabib is and they want to see Khabib get that title shot. But for the casuals, if you look at Khabib coming in off his last fight, who did he beat? He beat pretty much a nobody.
Yeah.
That chap isn't even. I don't think he's even contracted. I don't think he's even contracted to the UFC.
Dan picked him.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
What were you thinking? But
gotta give a guy a chance.
Yeah, but
whatever.
To be fair, people come out of nowhere and pull wins out. You know what I mean?
Venada against Tony Ferguson.
Exactly,
Didn't win, but it was close.
Exactly, it can happen. Like so, but Khabib, come in off a really bad injury and beat Darrell Horcher, who he doesn't have the biggest name in the world. So I think it does make sense to give him one more fight before the title shot.
Yeah.
And if he beats Michael Johnson, then he legitimately deserves the title shot.
Yeah.
My heart just got crushed as you're talking, girl. Sorry.
One on.
Stoke just equalised.
But you know what? If Michael Johnson turns up the way he turned up for Dustin, I don't know. Khabib could be in a bit of trouble, man. Yeah. Especially, like you said, his last opponent wasn't at the caliber. Obviously, the fight he's fighting next, but it'd be definitely a good matchup, a good fight to look out for. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm sympathise for Jose Aldo. I don't think the idea of Khabib needing to get that title shot is a thing. Like he's been out for so long. He's had one fight in I don't know how long. I'm a huge fan of Khabib,
I love him.
And he's probably could be the best lightweight in the world. He could be. You never know. That's out there. But I don't think he should have got the title shot over a lot of guys in that division. He hasn't fought enough. He just hasn't fought enough lately. So I'm not really on that.
My whole thing with the angle of it is, again, I spoke about this previously as well, is that holds the whole featherweight division up, Conor outside of it. Do you know what I mean? Now, I honestly think if Conor wins against Alvarez, he vacates the belt. As much 100%. As he said you'll need an army to take it off me, he'll vacate the belt because you can't hold the division up any. Like, if he turns around then...
He'll hold the belt for like a week.
I think he just wants the prestige of having the two belts.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. But like, if he got matched, like let's say he beats Alvarez and then gets matched against Khabib, that's then going to be 4 fights, but 5 fights by the time he's going to get back to 45.
I know for you think that, give him the belt because it's the prestige of getting the two belts, but I still think he should have been stripped when he got the title shot for the lightweight. Now, not the first time, but now I think it's been too long for me.
No, I'm in complete agreement. I've said it before, I say again, Conor is a paper champion. He hasn't defended his belt. You're not a true champion until you defend it, in a lot of people's opinions, including mine. And I think Conor should have defended his belt months ago. The second Diaz fight probably shouldn't have happened, but
there we go. That's the end of that one. So sticking on the UFC team, UFC Belfast got 2 matches as well this week. Artem Lobov gets matched against Ishihara. Am I saying that right, Rob?
Ishihara, yeah.
Bama heavyweight champion Mark Diakiese gets his bow for the first time in the heavyweight UFC division, matched against Justin Ledet. So 2 matches up there. It's good to see Artem from the Irish Russian side of the world getting matched. A big fight. Artem again. I was reading an article where he feel like he needs to almost show his worthiness for his place in the UFC, which is a peculiar thing for the mindset, isn't it?
Well, he's hungry. That's always good to see. Artem's been around for a long time. He's had fucking wars here in Ireland, and he's known as a knockout artist. Unfortunately, he showed it in Tough, but he hasn't showed it on the UFC main stage just yet. His last fight, you can only fight who's put in front of you. It's many, exactly. So, unfortunately, Artem didn't get to showcase how good he can be. I can see where he's coming from, that he has a point to prove in this fight. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that sentiment. It just shows that Artem wants to go in and put on a good show. And I'm interested in seeing it because we'll know with Ishihara that he'll throw down with him.
Yeah.
Because both men have serious power, so it'll be an exciting fight to watch.
And someone, Dan, you've seen close up, Mark Godbeer. What was your reactions to that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we all know that he'd been through a tough time as far as actually getting a fight. Obviously he was meant to be on Bellator and whatever happened over there. But yeah, I mean, he seems to think that, you know, he's changed his training, he's signed up a new management team, and he has got, you know, he got signed to the UFC. Now, whether that's because they did more heavyweights in the Europe division to lay down some leather, and he's got signed up. Fair play to him, man. You know, yeah, good luck to the guy, man. He's a good guy. We know he's got good hands, he's got good kicks, and he's just, for the past year and a half, he's him to up his game. So I don't know much about his opponent. I haven't had time to look him up, but yeah, it should be a good fight.
Yeah, that's a good sign. I think it's great to be a heavyweight in MMA at the moment,
Yeah.
but it's always been because, you know, it's such a thin division. Not taking anything against Mark, he deserves to be
He's
there, but
right,
it's such a thin division where he can go in there now. If he gets 2 or 3 wins, he's, you know, top 10 against a lot of guys. So
he's coming from good stock as well, though.
Exactly,
being Bam a heavyweight champion,
100%,
like, he's coming from very good stock. So hopefully the UFC will push that he's a former champion, a European champion.
Exactly,
You know, so now he's going to the international level.
Yeah.
He has that resume behind him, so he's definitely marketable. And if you're seeing the man, if you want to have the physique and the look of the baddest man on the planet, you don't get much more intimidating than Godbeard.
I squared off getting him. I thought he was a fucking pussy. I could see the fear in his eyes. You know, when you stand eye to eye with a man and he was shitting himself.
Pulling the Eddie Alvarez face.
And you say that while you're texting him, apologising.
No, I'm in the middle of texting going, hey Mark, want to come on the show sometime?
Hey friend.
Yeah, no, he's a big dude and he hits like a tank, you know what I mean? So it's, again, Rob nailed it. He could be in the top 10 with a couple of wins. Some change, some sad news actually this week emerged that UFC fighter Josh Salmon was found unresponsive in an apartment in Florida. According to some outlets, Salmon is in a coma after allegedly overdosing on heroin.
We'll leave the bet out for this one.
So this is some serious sad news in that sense. It's not. It's life more so than MMA. But yeah, I was reading the Friends post that he put up on Facebook. It was shared on I can't remember what website I was looking at. But it basically said, you know, he's been through it awful lot, and now at this stage, it must be said as well, the apartment he was found in, a friend of his was found dead and announced dead on the scene. So he is now in hospital fighting for his life. So hopefully, you know, that's a fight he wins.
You know, hope prayers are with him, and you know, not nice to hear about, and not just an MMA fight, about anybody who goes through that. So you know, prayers with him, and hopefully he's road to recovery.
Yep, that's all that really can be said.
So again, everyone, all our thoughts are with the family, and hopefully he makes recovery from that, and you know, if it's heroin in that way, gets his life sorted and turns it around. Just moving it back into the MMA world, Ryan Bader is in for the injured Alexander Gustafsson to fight Nogueira in UFC Brazil. Not too sure what the injury was there, but Gustafsson is out, Ryan Bader's in. So Ryan Bader getting a chance again. He's become the ultimate gatekeeper all of a sudden, hasn't he, Ryan Bader? So this will be a good test from down in Brazil as well.
This fight, like Bader in Brazil, I'd favour Bader in the fight. I think Nogueira is just a little bit long in the tooth at this stage. Don't get me wrong, anything can happen. Of course, it's mixed martial arts. It's a good fight for Bader. He's been slowly but surely trying to get back on track. He had his fight with Ilir Latifi and actually knocked Latifi out. That's a big statement. You know, we haven't seen Bader really put a performance on like that in a good while. His last few fights, obviously he fought Rumble Johnson and he lost, and then I think he had a few decisions before that. So Bader's really trying to get back on the horse and put his name back in the hat, so to say. So it could be a defining moment in his career yet again for Bader if he can just keep taking on.
Yeah, again, it's a tough fight down in Brazil. I have to say, if I was a fighter, thank God I'm not, but if I was a fighter, we wouldn't. I wouldn't like to fight in Brazil against a Brazilian. It's just
especially not Nogueira. especially not Nogueira.
Yeah, I do think Nogueira though a little bit chinny at this point. Bader still has a lot of power. I don't usually pick Bader in a lot of his fights, especially when he's against top guys, because I think that I wouldn't say choke, but he's at a certain level. I just don't think he's at that level. But I think Nogueira, just the way Nogueira fights, he's going to want to get to the ground. Bader has good takedown defense.
If it was 10 years ago...
10 years ago, you're talking something different story.
Exactly,
but Nogueira will strike with him. He can catch him, but,
comes from a Golden Glove background.
Exactly,
But again, like Noel said, if he was Bader, he wouldn't want to fight in Brazil. So hopefully, Bader, mentally, he goes into that game well. And obviously, like with his last knockout of Latifi, it was great, but hopefully mentally he'll turn up there and he'll put on a good fight, and that doesn't affect the way he performs. But if I had to pick on the night, again, Bader, I must have picked Bader to win that fight.
Great stuff. So what we're going to do is, that's going to ting. We're going to ring Brad Pickett now, because he's basically saying give us a call there whenever you're ready. So Dan, we can keep you on this as well. You can join the calls together, yeah? So welcome back to obviously Fight Talk, and I'm delighted to say we're now joined by Brad One Punch Pickett. This man owns 25 wins with just 11 losses. He is fighting on UFC 204 next week in Manchester against Yuri Alcantara, who is an owner of 37 wins and 7 losses. So Brad, welcome back to obviously Fight Talk, and thanks for taking the time with it being fight week coming on and having a chat.
Thanks for having me guys back on.
Yeah, no problem, man. So, Brad, you were obviously scheduled this fight back in UFC Fight Night 93, I believe it was. So, has that changed in the build-up, be it to game plan or tactics going into this fight?
Well, a little bit. Obviously, my opponent got changed, and also my fight got put back. So there was a few different changes I had to do. Obviously, my opponent... Normally, I don't have to change much when it comes to opponent, because normally I just concentrate on making myself a better fighter every time I get into the gym. But this time, this opponent was completely different, where he was southpaw, and I've only ever really fought one southpaw in my whole career, and I didn't realise he was a southpaw until after the fight, and that was Vaughn Lee. So, yeah, it was tricky. Obviously, starting my camp is actually, I didn't realise what a big difference it was actually. Training against the southpaw is actually a lot different and a bit tricky, but by the end of the camp, I was very comfortable with it now, and I'm looking forward to the fight.
So would you be the type of fighter who would game plan for particular things like a southpaw, or would you kind of just train yourself and get better, or would you apply an actual game plan?
Both. I don't really. I like to have a loose game plan. Ideas of things that should work, and I will try and make them work, and things I'd like to implement. Well, I don't have a real strict game plan, because I find if you have a strict game plan, and it doesn't work out, and you got no plan B, you could get yourself lost. So I like to fight the fight for every moment, but have a rough idea of what I like to do. Okay, I want to take the guy down, or I want to keep the fight standing. Or want to do this, but at the end of the day, doesn't mean I'm not going to take it down, or I'm not going to keep the fight standing. So I have ideas of what I'd like to do, but I keep that very.
Just sound like we're losing you a little bit there, Brad. So again, you're coming off the victory from your last fight was on the Silva Bisbeen card. You fought Francisco Riviere Jr. and it was a split decision, and a little bit of controversy was picked. Again, I love hanging the lads here. I picked you to win that fight. I believe the 3 lads didn't, but that was a very hard fought fight. So what was your opinion on the fight looking back at that?
Well, on the night, obviously, I believed I won, but when I watched the fight back, I'm one of those. I'm very skeptical of myself, and I'm a very honest person. And it was a fucking close fight. It actually could have gone either way. There was no, in my eyes, a clear winner. But one thing I do know going into that fight, I had the most pressure I think I ever had leading into a fight. It was the toughest thing I think I've ever experienced mentally going into that fight, just because of obviously going down to flyweight and having a stint down there, trying to get a shot with Demetrius, not going too well for me because of styles of fights and stuff like that. Again, coming back up a weight class, fighting Thomas Almeida, doing really first round, then ended up getting clipped in the second and losing that, and then having my son after that fight. By the time we came around to that fight, I hadn't really won a fight in 2 years. So being in a very like a confident sort of sport, my confidence was really low. And then obviously leading up to the fight, every journalist, every interview I took, everyone was going, "Is this your last fight? Are you retiring now?" And it's just kind of like, I was like, holy shit, like, is this me? Am I done? Have I not got it anymore? Have I not got what it takes to compete at this level? And it was really tough, really, really tough for me to deal with mentally. And it didn't matter who I was fighting, to be honest. It could be Dominic Cruz, or it could have been the Postman, like, I had the same kind of demons in my head fighting that fight. And I mean, like, no disrespect to Cisco Rivera, but I believe if I fought him without those pressures, I'd finish him inside 1 or 2 rounds. I just believe I didn't fight as well as I would do because I was so worried and cautious of losing a fight.
And do you think that's something to do with the old UFC? They normally do, if you've dropped 2 fights, especially 3 fights, that's your walking papers. So was that the added pressure on top of that as well, or was it just you wanted to prove and almost shut up the media that you were saying, to say, look, listen, I'm Brad Pickett, I'm going nowhere?
I think more the latter, because I loosely spoke to the UFC anyway before I said, hey, look, because I said to them, look, I want to know if I lose this fight, am I cut? Because I'd rather retire after my fight with dignity than just to get cut, And they said, don't worry about it, you're not getting cut. So I'm like, so I was safe no matter what. So that obviously took a little bit of pressure of the result off, but only for my job wise, I guess. But for me as a fighter, I don't want to be in the sport just over past merit. I don't want to be there for past accolades of what I've done in the past. I want to be able to not just get in there and compete at this level, get in there and win at this level. Because I think I can compete at that level easily. And get in there and throw bombs, I can do that any day of the week. But to get in there and actually come away with a victory was very, very important for me. And that was the thing that I was the pressure on most, is getting the win.
And again, would that have been something that you would have considered if they had said, if you do drop this fight, more than likely would be cut? Is that something that you would have considered? Like, it just in regards to Neil Seery here has announced after Belfast that Neil's going to hang the gloves up because he's got the fight that he wants against Ian McCall, and he thinks it's the perfect stage to go out on. So was that something that was just a doubt in your head, or was it a realistic retirement was a possibility if you dropped that fight?
For me, obviously I love my job. I do not want to retire. I like to keep fighting, and like it's kind of hard to say when everyone goes, "Hey, yeah, you passed it, mate. Give up your job." And it's like, fuck you. I want to carry on fighting. Like, who are you to tell me? It is real tough, because also you don't want to be that guy just hanging around getting your ass beaten every time you fight. So it is a bit of a tricky one, but. For me, like, it's just down to myself. If I don't feel like I can compete at this level anymore, I will retire. But I still feel good. And how you gauge that is by how you train in the gym with the top guys in the world, and how you compete in your fights. There are 2 things you can gauge on. And I'm doing well in the gym, and at the moment I won my last fight. So that's how I gauge it. That's the only way I can. And for me, age is a number. I'd like to continue, but like I say, it's like, if the UFC had cut me back then, if I did lose that fight, I would have tried. I don't know if I have it in me to go fight again on other shows and go to a different show like Bellator or something like that. And I'm not too sure if I have it into me. I think I owe it to myself to maybe retire, but then again, you never know. I have different responsibilities now. I have a child to feed, I have a family to feed, and at the moment, it's my job. It's my main source of income. So I'm looking about putting food on the table and stuff. that's one of my goals. I know you're saying about Neil Seery is retiring after he fights Ian McCall, and I think that's a really, really brave and admirable thing that he's doing. But then what happens if he knocks out Ian McCall inside the first round? He's just beat number 3 in the world at that weight class, and now he's going to retire. It's just like, wow, okay. So, yeah, I understand if he gets beat by Ian McCall, he could go away and retire then. But then what happens if he does beat Ian McCall, knocks him out in round 1, looks great doing it, feels great doing it? Then you think to yourself, oh, maybe I spoke too soon.
And you shared the cage with both as well, Brad. So what way would you see that? Do you see Neil having that? You've obviously, Neil's landed on you and shots on you. Your fight with Neil was one of the most memorable fights for me as well. It was a great fight. I'd always said I'd love to see a rematch with you and Neil. It was a great fight. But what way would you see that? Like, as in you're saying, Neil, if he does go out and do that to McCall, do you see that being a possibility?
To be honest with you, I love Neil Seery, and I'd like him to do one of the fight. But I just look at matchups. I think Ian McCall's too bright to try and fight. Where with me, I just wanted to throw bombs with Ian McCall, and not Ian McCall. I wanted to throw bombs with Neil Seery, and I did. And then I just knew the rounds were close, so I knew I had to get takedowns to win the rounds, where Ian McCall won't want to stand one bit and just take him down, and just to win the rounds, he won't have that risk element to it. So I can see Ian McCall trying to take this fight, be very cautious and boring, grapple, trying to out wrestle and out grapple Neil Seery. But if he does tries to stand there and trade with Neil Seery, obviously I fancy Neil Seery, but I don't think Ian McCall would do that.
And you did say that fighting at the moment is your main source of income, but you do have a couple of things as well that you're doing at the moment. The new podcast, you're doing Writing for the Sun, is seeing that as well. What's the idea behind the podcast? How did that come about?
Well, I just like chatting shit and talking about fights. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, you got to start planting seeds in your career and building things. Obviously, I do know that, my career is coming towards an end, so I need to start planting seeds and stuff. I have my fight show right that I'm doing, and I need to be thinking about a source of income outside of fighting. So it's just wise, and that's what I'm trying to do at the moment, and I'm trying to build things.
Is that something you think you'll move towards more when you do retire, the more kind of podcast and media side rather than coaching, or do you think, coaching would be another avenue for yourself?
I've been coaching for years as it is anyway. I believe I'm a good coach. I think I have a lot of experience when it comes to fighting, so I could definitely put a lot back into the sport, whether it's to be coaching or being a commentary or running my own fight show. I'm definitely going to stay within the sport. I have a lot to put back, but I don't know. I can't do everything, obviously, so I just need to see where my heart goes and what I maybe excel at more. I would love to be a pundit. I'd love the sport, and I'd like to stay in here as long. And I love coaching. Like I say, I coach now, and I look after a lot of fighters. I do seminars. I do teaching. I love the job, and I love the sport, and I'd love to stay, put back into the community. All my experience I have over the years.
Did you get to see the UFC event from last night? Your teammate Will Brooks fought.
I did, yes.
What did you think of the exchange after the fight? He threw...
pretty bad, to be honest.
Yeah. And do you think did you hear anything? Were you talking to Will after the fight? Did you hear what exactly happened there?
No. I haven't spoken to Will since, I stayed up too late to watch those fights nowadays, but I watched it this morning.
I think we lost you a little bit there.
How unprofessional Cowboy was not making the weight, So obviously Will Brooks has the right to be angry about it. And then I honestly don't feel, but emotions run high. Fight is a very, very high emotion sport. You know, a lot of emotions when it comes to fighting and competing at that sort of level. Right? So I can understand how Cowboy reacted, which I thought was completely wrong. And I can understand how Will Brooks reacted straight after, because he was pissed off. You know, I would be pissed off. You know, so like, I can understand it from both kind of ways. I don't condone their actions, but I understand it. But I believe it all started off with the first thing was with Cowboy being on play that much, you know, and then obviously his actions after the fight made it even worse.
As well, we seen something similar last week with Roy Nelson when he got stopped against Bigfoot, when the fight got stopped, and he gave Big John McCarthy, like I called it, a playful tap, and then he obviously gave him the middle finger as well. What was your take on that? Because I know Dana White had said something like he should be buried or something for his actions.
So could you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, just in regards to fighter reactions after, you had Roy Nelson last week, after the bout got stopped, he gave John McCarthy like a playful kick to sort of say, hey, you should have stopped the fight after. They had an exchange in the cage, and he flipped him the board basically. What was your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, it is. People got to be very careful with what they do and stuff, because obviously you'll realise not only you're an audience on a stage in front of millions of worldwide, you also role models and stuff like that. So, but then also, like I see, you say this pressure cook, you know, like for a long time, as in like I know how I feel, man. You know, like there's a lot of pressure going on you into these condoning people's actions, but I can definitely see how actions can get a bit blown out of proportion. It is a very high emotional sport, and some people in all walks of life handle things better, you know. And yeah, but I still think people should get disciplined and stuff like that. But when they get disciplined, it should be just behind closed doors, told off by the organisation and stuff like that. Not done publicly or through the media. You know, you don't need to belittle people, you know, because they risk their body, put their body online when they fight, you know, for the fans, you know. So yeah, I think that a lot of stuff should be dealt with behind closed doors, you know.
Are you in the UK at the moment, Brad? Are you over in ATT?
I'm in the UK. I've been here since last weekend.
So what's the plan for the fight? Obviously, you know, the fight is in Manchester, but, you know, it doesn't exactly fall at a great time for the fans or even the fighters. What's the plan for the fight? Are you trying to adjust to that time frame right now, or are you going to do that on fight week? So are you going to stay up late and maybe change your training sessions to adjust to the time that you're going to be fighting on?
Well, to be honest, no. I mean, I don't really want to overthink things too much. You know, I think some people look into things way too much and make too much of a deal out of it. You know, it's going to be late at night. I know that, but for me, I can fight no matter what time of day it is. You know, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I can fight. You know, I'm not going to forget how to fight because it's late at night, and I'm not going to in between rounds think, "Oh, let me lose." You know, adrenaline's going to be running really high. I'm going to be able to fight. The thing I don't like about it is that normally the day of a fight is my worst part of the how long it takes sometimes. The day is so draining. It's like, you know, you just wait and get a lot of performance anxiety and stuff. And for me, it kind of like just drags that on a lot longer. You know, so that's always going to be probably the most annoying thing about it. But at the end of the day, you can't. It is what it is. I need to just pick myself up and do it. I can't, you know. I can't change it. Like I say, so I just need to get on with it and not moan and fight.
And as well, just to bring it back as well onto the fight as we're going that path. What is the game plan? Do you see a weakness? You obviously don't have to tell us the exact game plan, but what is the tactic going into this? Do you see a weakness that you're going to try and exploit?
Well, man, I'm not going to obviously go straight into complete game plans. But obviously, I'm aware of his dangers. He's very, very dangerous striker. And he has a very high level black belt. He comes out very strong. And tends look at patterns. He tends to fade later on in rounds. So obviously, for me, I need to be a little bit more cautious, maybe in the first round, and take him into deeper waters. I believe he's dangerous in the first round. I believe I'm dangerous in every round. So I just need to make sure that the fight plays my way. I try and make it a high-paced fight as I can. Try and take as little damage as I possibly can, which is pretty impossible with one of my fights. Just hopefully Lady Luck's on my side that night, and I get to land one of my overhand rights on his jaw, and it'll be a good night.
And just before we let you go as well, just the main event, obviously a historic, Michael Bisping defending his title for the first time on UK soil. So what do you think of Michael's chances here in getting revenge for basically Dan Henderson's logo basically is the flying fist? So how do you see the main event playing out?
Well, this is tricky, right? Because if I was a betting man, obviously, which I'm glad I'm not, I would have lost my house by now. But especially with this sport, what do I call it? I always do this. Who do I think is the better fighter over 5 rounds? That's how I see it. Because normally the better fighter wins a fight over 5 rounds. But in between that time, someone can win any round. Someone could take a bad shot into a guillotine, someone could walk onto a right. Loads of crazy stuff can happen. So I always say, who should win a fight over 5 rounds? So in my eyes, Bisping will win that fight over 5 rounds. But Dan Henderson's right hand could end anyone's night at any given point when that lands. It's like, if Dan Henderson's hit, it could be game over. So I never expected Dan Henderson to beat Hector Lombard in a million years, and he did. So he's like, I'm kind of getting a little bit, like I say, you can't really bet on this sport. And I would have lost my house against Luke Rockhold versus Bisping as well. I couldn't see that happening. I'll win. So it is a very tricky one. I think Bisping's a better fighter at this kind of stage in both of their guys' careers. But sometimes, like, it's written for you sometimes. I don't even know how to explain that. It's like, I think it was written for Bisping to win that belt and be the first British champion, just to carve a legacy on his career. I think that's what is it. And this one could be the next one for Dan Henderson. I think his career deserves to be a UFC champion as well. So it could be his chance to get that chance of that as well. Like, does he deserve a title shot? No, he doesn't. Not a chance. Did Jacare, did Bisping deserve a title shot against Luke Rockhold? Not at all. But he got it, and did he win? Yeah. So, like, it is really tricky. But honestly, I believe Bisping should win this fight if he can steer clear of the right hand, like he didn't do in his first fight, but obviously knows about it. But so do a lot of Dan Henderson's opponents know about his right hand and still get hit with it. So, I think he needs to just make sure he stays on his feet a lot more, hitting, sticking, moving, and trying to outpoint Dan Henderson.
And we know you're not a betting man, but you did talk about Neil Seery. What happens if he beats Ian McCall? Dan Henderson did say that if he does win or lose, most likely he's going to retire. Just say Dan Henderson wins. Does he retire from MMA?
No.
I don't think so either.
We constantly talk here. The lads got on about fairy tales.
Sorry?
No, I was just saying the lads always go that it's in the, like you were saying there as well, Brad, it sometimes things happen for a reason and fairy tales, and I always say MMA isn't fairy tale land, you know what I mean? It never has a happy ending, and there's only so many occasions it does. Like, I'd be more of a team Bisping than I would be team Henderson. It would be nice to see Henderson, but I think if he wins, there's no way he's hanging it up if he's the champion. I don't think the UFC would let him. I don't think he would have got the shot if the UFC thought that.
Yeah, How would you do that? He'd probably get the biggest payday of his life.
Yeah.
And he's number one in the world. Why would you want to retire? You know, what he'll do, he'll cash that massive check he gets, and then he'll go, right, give me the next guy. If I get beat this time, I retire. Not defending my belt. I'll retire now. That's what he'll do. You know, I think he would have retired after his fight had the lumbar if he got beat.
Well, listen, Brad, thanks a million for coming on, taking the time to talk to us again, especially with it being fight week. I look forward to watching you fight. The best of skill to you. I'll always big fan. Always love watching you fight. So get it done in there and sit back and best of luck in the future and your upcoming fights.
Much appreciated, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks very much,
Cheers,
Brad.
pal. Take care. Bye bye.
Cheers.
So there we have it, Mr. Brad Pickett. I've got to say, big fan of Brad. He talks so openly, doesn't he? About he doesn't hide behind.
No, it doesn't.
I would have done this. Brutal, honestly. If I was told if I was caught, I was going to retire, and it just goes to show that it's interesting with that Neil Seery aspect. That was our last subject on Quickfire News that we couldn't get to just because we had to ring Brad there. With Neil retiring, it is to sort of. It's good that we have Brad's insight on that as well. Yeah. It is weird if Seery goes out and gets the win, the same way you look at Pickett now. And I always go on about fans are so fickle, and especially the media. He's saying a lot of pressure was put on from the media, almost making himself doubt himself. Is that when Brad goes out on Saturday night, gets the victory, he's all of a sudden he's 2-0 now. He's on a 2-fight win streak. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's the coins flipped, and people, the fickle fans and the fickle media, forget about it. So it's interesting to see that he was saying if he'd lost his fight, he was going to retire, and now all of a sudden he's projected in. He's gone 2-0, and he's, you know what I mean? It's who's next for him. So what do we think about Seery announcing that? What's your thoughts of it before?
I think any fighter saying that they're going to retire after the next fight is always very ropey. I definitely think if Neil wins that fight, especially against Ian McCall, that's a flyweight. Like,
where's Ian McCall ranked?
Demetrius Johnson has cleared out that division. There's not many fights left there. If Neil beats Ian McCall, like, there's a very good chance he could get a title shot call up just because of how Demetrius is beaten. He's beaten everybody. There's not many more fights there for him. He hasn't fought Neil. If Neil beats McCall, what's to say the UFC don't go, do you want the title shot? But the fact that he said now that I'm going to retire after my next fight, they probably wouldn't look at that and say, well, we'll give you the title shot for sure now. That's the only problem with that. You know what I mean? He's kind of talked himself out of it in a way. Yeah, I know Dan Henderson got the title shot, but Neil isn't Dan Henderson. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Neil has always been a different type of fighter in my eyes. Like, he's, he kept his job as 9 to 5. Even when he got to the UFC, a lot of fighters would say, "Okay, I'm going to put that on the back burner. I'm going to concentrate on this." But Neil always had that. This could end at any time. So it seems like he does have a plan, and if that is his plan to retire, I think that's brilliant. Like, I think, if you can go out on your own terms, as Brad said, it's difficult to. It's very brave for somebody to go out, especially if he comes off a win. It's a very brave thing to do because you could stay in there. But if you think, Neil did say openly that he doesn't think he can compete at the highest level at flyweight. He thinks that the new breed. He said he's looking at the Ultimate Fighter. All the former champions from different organisations are on the Ultimate Fighter. And he said that looking at them, he's just thinking, okay, I can't compete with these anymore. He got the fight that he wanted. It's a big fight. I think that fight or the rematch with Pickett would have been the two fights he would have loved to have. But going out on a win or even a loss, I think it is, as Brad said, it's very brave to go out that way. Not holding on, not trying to.
I like it, and you sort of touched on it there that he stayed and work and stuff. He spoke openly as well about.
The young fighters, was it?
Yeah, the young fighters, they'll retire. They give up work and they'll go full time, but it's not in it. You know what I mean? It's a small job. At the end of the day, when that gravy boat or gravy train, whatever you want, stops,
gravy boat.
You're sat in your pajamas at home. You know what I mean? Going right, what will I do now? So I think Neil he's known almost as the working class hero here of Irish MMA. He's an absolute superstar. He's a great bloke. He loves his MMA. You see him like he's constantly in the gym with the lads and stuff. And I don't think that'll stop. I just think Yeah, like, why not go out on your own terms? And it's the fight he wants, so fair play to him. And like, a big fan of Neil Seery, and in a way, I'm delighted for him. Yeah. But it would be interesting to see if he absolutely roasts McCall and then standing in the cage going, actually, shit. But he did say when he fought Horiguchi, he said he couldn't believe his strength. And that was one thing that he couldn't, he just couldn't believe it. Like,
he seems like he's put a lot of thought into it. It's not just a spur of the moment thing. It seems like he's put some thought into it. He said, okay, next one will be the last one. I hope he gets a bonus or something, gets a good win, gets his win bonus, and then if that's his decision, I'd say fair play to him.
And a nice way to go as well. I know it's not Dublin, but in Belfast, like, it's a nice, it's on Irish.
You're gonna get fans traveling.
Oh, you're gonna get fans traveling.
Yeah, it's basically home. You know,
it's
basically home.
No, so but I suppose in a way, congratulations to Neil Seery in a great career, and you know what I mean. A lot of people, when he was Cage Warriors champion, were calling for a UFC call. It came, and he's represented him. Like, Neil has never gone in there and had a fight where he got, that wasn't a great fight, was it?
Every single fight he's been in has been competitive. Even fights where he's lost, has he lost 30-27? Has he lost all 3 rounds in all his
probably
fights?
Horiguchi.
Last even then, that was competitive.
Yeah,
even
he
then
was still in it.
fight.
He got beat, but he was in it. Like, he didn't get blown out.
Exactly.
It
goes to show, like, he's there on merit. He's not someone that just got in because of his
he
mouth.
is. He's there on merit. You see it there. The fact that even Brad Pickett's alluding to it, that McCall's not going to stand with Seery.
Yeah.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
There's one thing that stuck with me when Seery done an interview. He was talking about the fights that he has been in, where he hasn't been, like, finished and whatever, and he says that these people don't want to fight me because even if they know that they're technically better, they're physically better, they know he's going to stick in there and he's going to give them a fight. And for the casual fans, to call a spade, his record isn't great. So if a casual fan's looking at that and they don't know who Neil Seery is, they don't know his past, they don't know who he is for, all that, they look at it and say, oh, well, the likes of Brad Pickett should have beat him easily, or the likes of a Horiguchi should have finished him. But he stays in there.
He's not an easy to beat fighter.
Exactly, and that's why a lot of people do want to fight him because he's exciting, and he won't just try, get a decision. But a lot of people don't want to fight him at the top because, it's going to be a tough fight. Even if you're going to win, you're going to be in a fight.
Yeah.
So, it's congratulations on the retirement when it does come. Yeah,
I hope Neil goes into coaching then afterwards, because could you imagine having him as a coach with that high level experience?
Like, rip the piss out of you.
It'd be a very good coach to have, very good coach.
You see him at a lot of the local shows and a lot of the, even the likes of Bam and stuff like that, or Cage Warriors. Neil, if any lads are fighting, Neil will be cornering them, and he's a good coach. So look, we're obviously big fans of Neil here. So again, congratulations to him, and it'd be great to see him go out with a big win over the fight he wants. It's great to see that he's getting the fight he wants as well. So just moving along and looking ahead, we have UFC 205 coming up next week. So we're going to go through it in a little bit, but delighted to say that we are going to be joined by the man who's opening the card, Marc the Bone Crusher Diakiese. He's going to be coming on to us now in a couple of minutes. So stick the kettle on. And don't, because it's just going to edit and you'll come back. So Marc, be on with a minute. So
one moment.
So welcome back to obviously Fight Talk. I'm delighted to say we are joined by the Bone Crusher, Marc Diakiese, the owner of 9 wins, the perfect 9 wins with 0 defeats, who takes on Lucas Zajewski, who is 13 wins with 2 losses at UFC 204, making his UFC debut. Marc, welcome back to obviously Fight Talk.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Marc, just let's jump into it straight away. Reza Madadi is pulled out with an eye injury there, so you have a new opponent. How long ago were you aware of this, and was the opponent confirmed?
I was really shocked, and obviously for him not pulling out. I knew it would from day one. I knew he'd pull out, but from knowing, I had that feeling, because obviously on his Instagram, usually he says stuff to his opponent. He didn't say anything, and he just kept quiet, and he didn't post nothing. And he posted 2 pictures of eye injury. Well, that was a while ago. So I had the feeling like he was trying to use some sort of excuse to pull out. But I officially found out yesterday that he pulled out, something to do with a retina or something with his eye, which I don't believe. I just believe he's made it up to pull out with me. But it is what it is. I'm still fighting. That's what matters.
And again, with Zajewski stepping in on the late notice, are you aware of him? Like, he was 13-0 before he signed for the UFC, and he's had two UFC bouts now and has lost both of them. So, have you seen him fight before, or were you aware of him?
Well, I know he's a strong lad. He likes to come forward, but I don't. I'm confident in my own game. Fight to fight. I don't think it puts me in any danger. So I'm just going in there and imposing my game on him. I'm not really too worried about what he's going to bring.
And again, you're coming off your last two combined fights. You've barely got a minute in the cage. So just the last fight you had obviously was with Kay Musa. The two of you were kind enough to come on to ourselves here before the fight and speak. So were you aware of the UFC interest before that bout, or was it the big highlight reel knockout that basically made the UFC take notice?
To be honest, I knew that was my goal to get in the UFC, but I wasn't really, when I was fighting, I wasn't really thinking, oh, this is it. But every time I fight, I'm going to go into UFC. I didn't think like that. To me, it was just more of a just keep fighting. When the time's right, they'll call. That's what I kept working on towards. So really, it was just keep training and just winning my fight. But I didn't really think it was focused on. I was just waiting the right time. When I'm ready, they'll come. That was it.
And has that changed in the lead up to it? Have you changed that up now that the fact that it is the big show, it's the UFC, or is it business as usual in training camp, Mark?
Well, if anything, it just made me a lot better, to be honest. I'm more focused than ever. Because I'm always focused, but this is more of a, my nutritionist side. I've focused on, my food, what I'm eating. I've got proper nutritionists come in. I've got a strength conditioning guy. I've got, things that I actually need to perform properly, which I've brought in, so I've just made it better for myself.
And again, this UFC 204, we were speaking to Brad Pickett just before we were speaking to yourself, Mark, and Rob had asked Brad, with the time change here, it's basically, as much as it's in the UK, it's in Manchester, it's going to be fighting on American time. So are you doing anything to adjust or alternate to that?
No, I'm not. Luckily, I'm quite lucky because my fight is 11:30, the first fight, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm quite lucky, to be honest, because that's main event anyway in the UK. Yeah. So I'm not too worried. That's fine with me. All I gotta do is just sleep a bit through the day and then wake up at night and fight. To be fair, any day's to fight. Really, it doesn't make any difference when you are going to be fighting. So I'm just going in and fighting. That's it.
Obviously, everyone wants to be as high as possible on the card, but are you almost happy that you're lower on the card for this one, considering it's so late?
Nah, well, they are happy, but it's people always remember the first fight and the last fight. So yeah. I'm happy to be the first person to open up the card and put on a great show.
And what's the game plan here, Mark? Let's are you going in there to put a highlight reel? Because I know when we spoke to you previously, you spoke about fighters in your division in the UFC, and you feel you can swim with any of them. You know what I mean? So is that the idea, to get in, get a statement here, and look for a big name and a big pay-per-view next time?
Well, I'm going in just I've worked so hard for this fight. I was supposed to fight against Reza, who pulled out. So I'm just going in there to fight that fans should be happy with. And obviously, if they're so happy with it, they will put me into the main card. But I'm going in there with everything. But this is my job at the end of the day. So I'm just going in and putting everything on the line.
And back to the Reza pull-out, were you almost worried that they wouldn't get an opponent for you on such short notice, or did you find out straight away that they did have an opponent for you?
Yeah, I found out straight away, because I only found out yesterday. We all didn't know, we just found out yesterday. Because I kept saying to my manager, he's never acted like this before. I seen a little clip of his training video, it just looked like he didn't want it. I was like, he's going to pull out, and then he has. So I was quite well prepared for it already. I knew it was going to pull out, so that helped me be prepared already, knowing that he's going to pull out. So I'm just quite lucky to get an opponent.
And are you looking to get another fight by the end of the year, or was this going to be the last one this year?
No, I would definitely look to get another one. I want to finish as quick as I can and get another one.
Would you be looking at UFC Belfast? There is November the 19th. So if you get in and get it done, let's be honest, your average fight time in the last 2 fights has been 30 seconds. So you're not getting paid by the round. So would you be looking to jump on the UFC card in Belfast?
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see how this one goes. I'll go out there and finish as fast as I can, and we'll see how it plays out. I'll probably jump on that as well.
And you're not when you signed to the UFC, you did call out Artem Lobov. Is that still a fight that you're looking for?
We'll see. We'll see. It seems he's picking his fight. I don't think he's going to win his next fight, if I'm honest. Because that guy, to be fair, he can't fight. So he struggled the guy that could even fight. So we'll see.
Did something happen there between you and Artem, or was it just because you called him out that there was a bit of animosity?
No, I never had no problem with Artem, but I read an article when I was fighting for Bama, obviously. It mentioned me to say something, I refused to fight him, and saying I don't have the balls enough to, obviously, to go out and fight him. I picked my fight. Obviously, I seen that, and I wasn't going to say anything because I went to UFC, but now I'm in, it's a chance for me to, obviously clear it out, that I'd never, ever pulled out from a fight or pick a fight. Any fight they gave me, I took it. So, I'm not...
We just lost you a little bit there, Mark, at the end there. You just...
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm saying, basically, it was talking crap and a writer of War TV. It mentioned my name, saying that I picked my fight. Because apparently he's supposed to get matched up with me and I refused to fight him. Which that never happened. His name never even came up to my list of fighters. They never even mentioned him or anything. And he obviously came out saying that, so I was happy about it. That's why I called him out.
Is there any other names in the UFC right now that you're looking to fight, or is it just you want the best opponent for the biggest amount of money that'll get you closest to the title shot, or is there any specific names that you'd like?
You know, I know everybody wants obviously the big fights, money fights, but obviously at the end of the day you got to earn it. You got to fight. You can't just keep calling out fights that you can't have. You got to earn it. So I'm just looking at going out there, putting a performance that will, put me to them type of fights.
I have to say, Mark, your last fight, I was in attendance in Birmingham, and I remember when Bama, when the names flashed up on the big screens, the whole atmosphere in the place, the excitement, the anticipation was something that I would only compare to when McGregor fought in Dublin for the first time. There was this huge anticipation for this huge bout, and I think this has followed you over to the UFC as well. Your fan base through the UK seems to have exploded of late. Every fight you bring excitement, you bring explosiveness and knockout. Like literally you blink and you miss a knockout. So I know the UFC, it'd be interesting to see their figures here, because their official fight pass prelims tend to be wishy-washy, but I'm expecting to see high numbers here with you opening the card.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, at the same time as well, obviously UK fans are great, but at the same time, they can big you up. At the same time, since you mess up, they're the same people that big you up, the same people that start slagging you off, which I'm not looking forward to. I'm just training. I'm not even thinking about what they're saying, about how they're bigging me up. The hype behind me, I'm not even thinking about that. To me, it's about me focusing and winning my fights.
So here we go. I don't know if you're the predicting type. I know you and Kane had a bit of back and forth, so it was heavy predictions there, and your prediction certainly came true. So what's your prediction here for next Saturday?
If I'm being honest, with Reza, I thought it was first round. This guy, I know it's a tough lad. He's going to come out swinging, but if he comes too aggressive, expect the first round again.
There you have it, folks. Get your money down on Paddy Power. Mark says he's bringing it back, and you've got the blonde streak of madness as well there. That always shows it's fight week for you as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, listen, Mark, thanks again for joining us with it being fight week and taking the time to come on to obviously Fight Talk. And again, we wish you all the best, and I look forward to watch your fight.
No problem, man. Thank you very much for having me again.
Cheers, my man. Take care.
Cheers.
Yeah, guys, bye.
And there we are, joined by Marc Diakiese, who's making his UFC debut at UFC 204 this Saturday night. Top bloke, wouldn't want to get punched by him.
No. idea is not to get punched by anybody, but no, definitely not.
So yeah, again, it's good seeing that. You know, it's mad that as much as the news broke for us and we only got official, he got it official as well at the same time. So it's got to be difficult for these lads coming into fights and basically, you know, your opponent changes. And he did say it. I remember when the fight was matched, he says, this guy's not going to make the walk. Yeah. Turned out he was right.
Yeah. We obviously seen something in Reza, you know what I mean? He clearly seen something. If he made the call that early, then Marc obviously seen something that was there. I'm looking forward to the fight. Like, from what we've seen from Marc, he can be explosive. Like, that overhand right is fucking devastating. It's absolutely devastating.
You'd almost compare it with McGregor's left. Like, that's the way it seems to be. Like, it's if that lands, it's night.
Yeah. If it lands clean, it is. Like, he has a right hand like Roy Nelson. And he's nowhere near the same weight class. Like, you know, it's scary how much power he has. Like, if you go back and watch Kane Moussa versus Marc Diakiese, and if you look at the two of them physically, like, you know, obviously Marc is a specimen, but you see Kane and you go, Jesus, that chap looks like he has serious power. And then Marc hits him and he like just fucking crumbled him. Like, it's crazy. It's a crazy knockout. Like,
but I wasn't literally saying that just because we're talking to Marc. The atmosphere that night there, lads, when you know the way Bama do with the big boom, and he go, woo. it's like, what's on now? But just the atmosphere was madness, like, at that, and it was like
you had a few jars in you, though, didn't you?
Fucking right I did. But like, it was like when I say when Tom Dugan was, it was like you were watching something you knew that was
special.
It was just that moment.
You get that feeling,
and then when it happened there, oh my fucking god moment was like, it was a moment that if anyone ever speaks to me about fighting, I'll say McGregor's walkout was amazing. Seery's walkout.
Daly's walkout.
Well, he wasn't at that show.
That was probably the best walkout.
It was great.
I'm only saying that because I said I wasn't there.
No, it was
that was
something
special.
else. Just everyone singing the song was Daly. Good crack.
Yeah.
So let's look at 204. This week there'll be diggings and kickings. So we may as well
start from Brad Pickett. That's the main card. I think he opens the main card as far as I know.
It's Brad Pickett is the main event for UFC Fight Pass. So watch, because we have Brad on, we'll go with Brad's fight. And then we'll work our way up, and then we'll do our under the radar. Okay. So Carl has his leather bound book and his pen out.
His moleskin, or as Noel would say, was it sheepskin?
Should I say sheepskin?
I think it says sheepskin,
It's very different.
A 40 book.
Yeah, it's very different. We skinned a poor, blind, defenceless animal for this book. So,
and all that nonsense is wrote in it. So we go Brad Pickett against Yuri Alcantara.
That was very good.
Getting it, haven't I?
Is it not Alcantara?
Doesn't matter. You say it with confidence, as Noel says.
I said ra.
You put it.
Yuri Alcantara.
There you go.
Candra.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Carl. Right, so Brad Pickett. See the way I hung you in the interview as well. I'm like a fucking.
That's the second time you done
it. I love that. I'll forever do that to you. So Brad, I believe I was the only one who picked you.
Yeah.
Fucking why not? So Brad Pickett against your man. Who are we going for here? And give us your goals.
I'll do it again now.
I think in the fight, Brad will have the advantage on the feet. Brad will let go and let loose, but he is quite technical. And if you've seen Yuri fight, he has that like traditional Muay Thai, but he'll throw in the flying knees and stuff like that. But he tends to gas and get tired. And I don't know if he's come up against a fighter that has the grit that Brad does. I think over the course of 3 rounds, you'd see Brad really start to dominate the fight. Yuri is a good fighter, and he's very, very dangerous. But I haven't seen a standout performance.
Not lately, anyway.
Not lately, and we've seen what Brad does. And Brad, if you want to throw down with Brad will happily throw down with you. But if Brad decides to stay technical and jump in and jump out and land a few shots, he's gonna land a big shot that will rock you. And we've seen Yuri get rocked in the past. So I'm going to say that Yuri will come out in the 4th round and he'll blow his load. And I think over the course of the 3 rounds, you'll see Brad pretty much take back the fight. I'm going to go with Brad Pickett to win via decision.
Nice. And again, that's sort of the tactic that Brad himself was saying with us there, is that he feels Yuri is aggressive and very dangerous in the first round, but he feels he's dangerous in all 3 rounds. So what's your one?
Yeah, I'm on the same boat as Carl. I think I've picked Yuri a couple of times in his last. I picked him against Jimmy Rivera.
Yeah,
I believe he lost that one. I think his last fight I picked him as well. Sometimes he just can't get off the mark. He might look good in the first round, but he fades, and he can't really.
When he fades fast.
Yeah, he does, and it's not. I don't even think it's a cardio issue. I think he gets into like a rhythm, and you can't really get out of that rhythm sometimes in the second and third round, especially if you lose the first.
Dying to start singing rhythm as a dancer. But go on anyway.
Give him a little whistle, a few glow sticks.
I was in Oktoberfest the other day and just had all those type of tunes on instead. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Brad. I think, as you said, he has. I think a little bit more grit. I think I would say he wants it more. I think that over the course of 3 rounds, he can land the more devastating shots. He does a really good job closing the distance, whereas Yuri likes to stay on the outside a lot of the time. Wrestling, Brad's a very underrated wrestler, especially coming from the UK. They're not really looked at good wrestlers, but Brad is a very, very good wrestler. So I'm going to go for Brad Pickett. I'm going to go with a decision on this one as well.
Bit rude, not that hashtag.
Bit rude as well. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Brad Pickett by decision.
Nice. I'm going to have to pick Alejandra here, Emily, because he's all gone with Pickett. Now I'm going with Brad Pickett. A couple of reasons. The whole gassing out, I just think Pickett has a tank there. He'll go through it. He'd fucking fight a steamroller if he had to. But again, as Carl alluded to, the technical striking of Pickett. He likes a scrap. He likes getting in a digging match, as we'd say, but he's technical in it too. He can go wild, but he slips and moves and creates the angles to land his shots. But
that's the thing, sorry, with Brad as well. We've seen Brad in the past get hit and come back from getting hit. Yeah. So he has that fucking grittiness to that, you know.
And I just think another factor of this that you didn't mention, well, obviously you don't need to mention it, but it's on UK soil. And it's this whole, McGregor says it as well, no man would beat me on my own. And it's that whole idea with Pickett as well, the crowd behind him. And just talking to him earlier, he sounds hungry for this and amped for it. So yeah, I'm going to go with Brad Pickett, and I'll go a majority decision. Unanimous decision. Next up on the card, we have the skyscraper Stefan Struve taking on Daniel Omelanchuk.
Close.
Very close though.
Omelanchuk. That's exactly how you say it.
Well, fuck you, I retired.
That's just exactly how you said it wrong the first time. Sorry. I'm sorry.
So Struve, all fucking 10'6" of them, taking on
6'10".
Yeah. So this is 12 against 14 in the rankings. If you pay any attention to that, this is heavyweights. So this is a lot can happen and a lot people can go asleep. So Rob.
I'm going to go with Stefan Struve. He's been off for a long time. He came back and he looked pretty decent. Omelanchuk, he's a good fighter. He hasn't really shown that he's a great fighter just yet. I don't think Struve has either, but I think Struve has the experience.
Struve has had moments though.
Yeah, he's been in there. Like, he's been looked at, maybe he could potentially get to the top 5, but
unfortunately illness held
he had some illnesses and he's back now. He's slowly but surely getting better at using that huge range. Did you think we missed the fight?
No.
Just checking his last fight.
Yeah, there was a cancelled. Bektic is out. I was looking at that one. I do think that he's getting slowly but surely better at using his range. He always had a problem where he has tons of range and he always got into a clinch with people.
He's like Dal Sim, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Boxer from the other side of the cage.
Exactly. But with Omelanchuk, again, I think he's a good fighter. He just hasn't shown enough that I can pick him in this one. Has a lot of power, as most heavyweights do. So if he does land, could be over. But I'm going to go with Stefan Struve on this one. And I think it will be a submission. Yeah.
I'm going to sing from the same hymn sheet. I'm going to go with Stefan Struve. I like Struve. He's big, tall, gangly, nerdy sort of guy or something. He seems that way, but he's not. He's like, he seems like a nice guy as well. He obviously had a big scare with his heart condition, wasn't it? And then when he came back, he was due to fight. Remember, they had to call it off because he was backstage. So he came back and he knocked out Bigfoot Silva in like 13 seconds or something the last time they fought as well. Like, I think Stefan Struve has all the tools. It's so fucking hard a heavyweight to get. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's good, but then he runs into like Alistair Overeem, or he runs into, you know, Cain Velasquez, or, you know what I mean, Big Roy Nelson, or, you know, it's so hard for heavyweights to get momentum, because like you said when you were talking about Godbeer earlier on, Godbeer wins 2 fights at heavyweights, all of a sudden he's in the top 10 and they're talking about him as a contender. So it's the same here. As soon as you get a bit of a win streak going, you're sort of, you know, you're up against it. So big win in his last fight over Bigfoot, and I'm going to go with a big win here. I think I'm just going to call him Daniel is going to try and close it and be gritty and get close to Struve and sort of fight dirty on the inside. But I think if Struve uses that reach, there's nobody fucking in the world that can compete with his reach. Like, he's a 10-inch reach advantage in this fight. Like, yeah, silly. You know?
Yeah, it doesn't even seem real. Like.
Yeah, so I think Struve will do it, and I think he will get a TKO in round 3.
Round 3, late, yeah. It's a good call. Like, other than his last fight, Struve, like, he does tend to grind out wins, especially at heavyweight, which is very rare. But
he's good, really good ground game, actually.
Yeah,
well,
he does for a Dutch fighter. Like,
yes.
But Omalenchek, he's a good fighter, but he's one of them. He has more grit to him than actual style, I suppose. He will like to get a hold of you and like try to wrestle fuck you, and his striking is very, very wild, but that's where Struve needs to mind himself. Being so tall, your chin's constantly up in the air. If you've seen Omalenchek, he's quite squat for a heavyweight, so he's going to be punching up. If your chin's in the air, like, and you're not getting your head off that centre line, you're going to be in trouble. And we've seen Struve get hit in the past because of that. Yeah, exactly. But since he's come back, Struve has looked very good. His knockout of Bigfoot was, like, people can say what they want about Bigfoot, but it's an impressive knockout to come back after so much time off and to do it in as little time as he did. I think Struve definitely needs to stay composed in the fight. He needs to manage his distance. He can't let Omalenchek try get a hold of him and make it that grinding fight. If you look at rugby players, if you look at the squat players, they're the ones that do all the gritty stuff in the front lines, and I think Struve being so tall and Omalenchek being so small and squat, that'll go against Struve. Most of Omalenchek's power will be in Struve's waist, and that, you know, that's where your throws come from, and you can get it to the ground there. So Struve's own height is kind of working against him in that sense, and, you know, it's been working against him for how long now, so you'd imagine that he's well used to that. But that's what, in my opinion, what Omalenchek needs to do is to get into that position, and Struve can't allow that to happen. He definitely needs to manage his distance. I'd say throw the teep kicks to keep him out there, throw your jab. If he needs to go to a decision to get the win, do that. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm going to go with Struve, and I'm in the same boat as yourself now. I think it'll be a third round TKO. I think Omalenchek will just get too tired and Struve will just wear him out, you know. Nice. So I'm going with Struve.
So we're on boats and hymn sheets.
Yeah.
Your next bout of the evening sees number 5, Ovens St. Preux, take on the poster boy, number 8 ranked Jimmy Manawa. So this is the long-awaited return for Jimmy Manawa.
Yeah.
He's been a while away.
He's been a while away.
Carl, stop spreading your splutter mouth.
The 5th of September 2015.
Shit. Yeah. So over a year.
Yeah.
Well done, Carl Vorderman.
Yeah, over a year.
Just bring it back as well. You said boats and hymn sheets. Just reminded me, it's like the Christian version of boats and hoes.
Yeah.
Boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes.
So Jimmy Manawa, Ovens St. Preux. Obviously, Ovens St. Preux coming off that defeat to John Jones. But that's going to, I think, them fighting someone like John Jones just gives you that next level, you know what I mean?
And like he looked fairly decent as well.
Yeah, he did, I'm right in saying he swapped from Orthodox to...
He went from being an awkward gangly southpaw to Orthodox.
So
an awkward gangly Orthodox.
Jimmy Manawa, this is such a tough one.
It is a toughie, isn't it?
I just think Jimmy Manawa lands on anyone and he puts them asleep. Like, if you look, I'm just flicking through his win record, his loss record. Like, who he's lost to has been Alexander Gustafsson and Rumble Johnson.
Yeah, he's been in there with some.
A lot of people have said they've lost to them. You know what I mean?
If
you want me to go
if you're listening
first?
on audio, Noel's just sitting back and rubbing his beard.
Yeah.
He's thinking.
Do you want me to go first?
Jimmy Manuwa. Round 2. Destruction. I'm changing. Jimmy Manuwa. Round 1. Destruction knockout.
Destruction knockout.
Not your stereotypical knockout.
No.
Look, he knocked him out. It's like, holy fuck, he knocked him out.
Whoever says, look, he knocked him out.
Rumble Johnson knockout style I'm going for. I just think, as much as I just bigged Owen St. Peru up, I just think Manuel is just going to be faster. He's more explosiveness. And he just has serious knockout power, and I just think he'll land on Owen St. Peru and he'll get him out of there. I just think he's going to be just too big and strong. He's the English Anthony Johnson.
Yeah, in
ways.
In a way,
In ways, yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to go with Manuwa. The only thing is that old thing you get around your whole ring rust is
Oh, Jesus.
what I'd be worried about here. Carl, you've been away too long.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it for you.
Jesus.
Ring rust is something that you'd be worried about. The fact it's in the UK, yes, the whole thing again, big advantage for Jimmy Manuwa, I think, and I just think he's gonna. His power is just phenomenal, and I just think he'll land. And if he does land, it's 9-9.
Nice.
I'll go ahead of yourself, Robert. If I'm looking at this, I'm going with OSP. I definitely think Manuwa has a puncher's chance, but I think that's all there is. I don't think that Manuwa, is at that same level as OSP. OSP, I've kind of complained about him in the past, and that he can be a bit boring, and like he really slows down a fight, and I think that's what he's going to do in this fight as well. I think just OSP has had a better shown in terms of the caliber of fighters that he's fought. He's been in there with some of the best and not really looked in too much trouble. Yeah. Whereas when Manuwa has come up against some of the best, he's been in really
I might add as well, by the way, sorry, just my selections is I met Jimmy Manuwa at UFC, Randall McGregor,
we get it now.
And I talked to him for a good 20 minutes, so best pals, so I'm clearly going to pick Jimmy Manuwa.
Get you,
that's fair enough,
name drop, just pick that up there.
I think Manuwa will definitely try
like that.
I think Manuwa will definitely try headhunt. I think that will play against him in the fight. Tire him out, and I think the longer the fight goes on, it just plays into OSP's hands. I think Owens will throw in a few takedowns along with. His striking's very awkward anyway, and then his takedowns are even more awkward. He doesn't shoot very often. It's just he's a weird fucking fighter. He's hard to describe. And I think that's just gonna put Manuwa off tilt on that night. So I'm gonna go with OSP via decision. I don't think it's gonna be the barn burner we're all hoping it will be. I hope it is, but I don't think it will be.
Yeah, I'm the same about as Carl. I think that
we're just like a bunch of sailors, aren't we?
Yeah, on the same raft as Carl here. I just think OSP, as Carl said, he's a very awkward fighter. It's hard to kind of pick in his fights because he does weird things. Jimmy Manuwa, I think we know what we're going to get from him, and if he does win, it's probably going to be by a vicious knockout. OSP seems to have a fairly decent chin. I think he was knocked out by, did he fight Anthony Johnson? Could have fact check that, but seems to have a fairly decent chin. Wasn't in too much trouble against John Jones. Now I'm not sure if that was.
I thought you called me a name there when you said fact check that.
Yeah, he wasn't in too much trouble against John Jones, but I don't think that was the best John Jones we've ever seen. Manuwa, he's going to go out there. He's going
wasn't on coke.
He wasn't on coke. Maybe he was.
Who did you think he got knocked out by?
Anthony Johnson. Don't know why I thought that.
They even fought.
Maybe I was thinking of Jimmy Manuwa, who got knocked out by Anthony Johnson. But it's a very close fight. But I'm gonna go with Owens to win by a decision. Just gonna outwork him a little bit. I think he's a bit more refined in the grappling and in the clinch. Manuwa, if he stays in striking distance with Manuwa, I think you're playing right into Manuwa's hands and he can win the fight. But I think if he does mix it up and he doesn't stand right in front of him, I think Owens will be able to get a decision in this one.
Cool.
Living up to the name. Hashtag Rob decision.
Next.
Next up, this is a cracker. I like this fight. Vitor Belfort taking on Gegard Mousasi.
Even said his name boring.
Gegard Mousasi.
Yeah, this is, on paper it's a good fight. I definitely think it's a styles make fight. Belfort to come out in that first round and try blitz as he always does. And then pretty much blows, if he gets out of the first round, that's his load gone. And then Mousasi to take the rest of the fight pretty much. That's how I see it going. I think if Belfort doesn't get him out of there...
Fight,
yeah.
3 rounds.
Yeah, I know, but I just think if Vitor doesn't get him out in the first round, we've seen Mousasi just come back and just take the next 2. We have seen him do it, and I think Mousasi, has the wherewithal to know that you can't fucking stand in that first round against Vitor and strike him, because to be fair, Vitor, if he lands, you're going out. He's a very, very dangerous opponent in that first round. He's still very dangerous throughout the rest of the fight, but I just think Mousasi will drag him into them deeper waters and just tire him out, and it'll wind up being a very boring fight again, because that's just Mousasi. And it's not even boring, but for the mainstream it's boring. I think for myself,
action packed.
Yeah, for myself, I don't mind seeing Mousasi fight, because I like seeing people trying to solve the puzzle. That's him. He has that style where he'll just fucking, if he's on the feet, he'll coast, he'll tag it, and then you get frustrated, you try to run at him, and you get taken down. And good luck getting up from there. Mousasi on the ground, he's a very, very good fucking practitioner of jiu-jitsu or whatever, grappling, let's say. So as much as Vitor, we've seen Vitor against John Jones throw up the arm triangle, Vitor off his back, he does have her in him, but I just think after the first round there's not much else that's going to happen. So I'm going to say, my head's going, if I'm going to bet, Gegard Mousasi 2. Yeah, Mousasi 2 rounds to 1. Pretty much. Yeah, 2 rounds to 1.
You're going to do Mousasi? That's all needs to be said.
No, I'm last. It's up to you.
Yeah, again, I'm agreeing with Carl.
Yous are on the same yacht.
On the same yacht, yeah. I think Carl kind of really hit all the points that I would have hit. I think with Vitor Belfort, if he comes out in the first round and lands something, he can win it. I do think he does have a chance over the course of the 3 rounds as well, but this is Vitor Belfort after TRT. He hasn't really looked great physically, or even against in the Weidman fight, he looked okay in the first round, dropped Weidman a little bit and then faded. I think it's going to be a similar thing where if Mousasi can weather that storm in the first, I think he's technically better on the feet, which sounds kind of strange, but I think he's just technically better, as in Vitor is definitely has more knockout power, and if he lands, I think he has a better shot of getting the finish. But over the course of 3 rounds, especially when Vitor gets a little bit tired, Gegard will just look a lot better on the feet. He'll be tagging him, and Gegard has a lovely jab, and I think that'll frustrate him as well. So I'm going to go with Gegard. I don't think he's going to finish him. Actually, no, I do think he's going to finish him. I think he's going to finish him late. I think he's going to beat him by a TKO.
Very good.
Hashtag Rob Palin TKO.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, I thought, the traditional thing would be maybe a decision, but I think Vitor, he does fade an awful lot lately in his last couple of fights. So I do think in the later rounds he will fade so much that Gegard will be able to get a TKO.
Yeah, just before you jump in now, I don't want to interrupt you while you're doing your pick, but the one thing I like about Gegard is that he's unapologetic about his style.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't give a fuck. He knows quite well what he brings to a fight, and if you can't get past what he brings, then tough luck.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's as you said, it's the riddle, and it's up to your opponent to solve it. I'm not on the same canoe.
Not on the same canoe,
Not in the same canoe. I'm not on singing the same song as you.
No.
See, for me, Gegard Mousasi, you're right, Carl, being unapologetic for his style, but he also strikes me the way Uriah Hall strikes me now. He's a more accomplished Uriah Hall, if you like. It depends which one turns up.
Yeah.
Depends which version of Gegard Mousasi turns up on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Well, Vitor, a madman with a dodgy haircut and a shaved fucking cross on the side of his head is going to come into the cage. You know what I mean? So, and he's not going to do it for Gay Jesus either. But I honestly think, with him, he's the nuts. When he comes, you know what I mean? He's that ball of energy, and that ball of energy might only be sustained for 3 to 4 minutes. We've all been there, lads. But like, I just think here it depends. Yeah, if I was going to 9 times out of 10. First, I've got to say, I think this is weird that Vitor is fighting in the UK. But anyway, if this fight's in Brazil, it's a different fight. Gegard Mousasi, I like Gegard Mousasi. I like his style as much as it can be seen as boring. He sort of lulls you into this pattern and then strikes and can finish it. And he's slick on the ground. I just think, similar to what I'm saying with Jimmy Manoa, you touched on it as well, Rob, is Vitor has that one explosive knockout power. He can do it with flying knees. He can do it with an overhand right. He can just charge you like you're back in now. I know it was like 20 years ago or whatever, but charge at you and literally roil off 30 shots in a matter of seconds. And I think that's what he's going to try and do here. He's going to try get on Mousasi. Mousasi is a slow starter. He's a slow everywhere. He doesn't. So I think Vitor will try and solve that. If he doesn't get it done, Mousasi will take over and win the fight that way. But I'm going to predict he is going to get it done. So I'm going to go with Vitor Belfort to stop him late round 1 or early round 2. So I'm going to go with Vitor.
Very good.
Didn't think I was going to write until I started talking. To be honest with you,
it's mad. Like.
No, I just I did. I like his.
You have a feeling.
He just has that explosiveness again. It's a weird. It's a weird sort of card in that sense that you're asking me now if this fight was to happen in 3 weeks' time, I'd probably break it down different. But I don't know. With Mousasi, he's broke my heart so many times with the way he just sometimes he just doesn't turn up. But I just think Belfort, he's at the hiatus of his career. He's at the end of it, and he's just going to want to go out with in style. So I think he'll grab this. Yeah, I think he'll. That's it. He'll risk the biscuit to get the rewards. You know what I mean? While Mousasi will, his style. You know, but that's his style. And look, he's fucking. I like Mousasi. It sounds like I'm shitting on him.
Mousasi strikes me as Trapattoni.
Yeah,
it's the very much sit back, lob the ball forward, and we'll try score. This is it.
Cat is not yet in the sack.
That's what Mousasi is. He's Trapattoni.
Trapattoni.
So here we go. The main event of the evening. We got the Count Michael Bisping. He is the reigning, defending UFC. Whatever, give it up. He's taking on Dan Henderson. This is more than for that shiny belt. This is. Bisping wants revenge.
Retribution.
And this has been sitting on him. Like, it's fucking Henderson's logo, for fuck's sake. So this is Dan Henderson versus Michael Bisping. It's your main event. It's for all the marbles, the middleweight title. Who we got, why have we got him? And you love Dan Henderson.
I'm going Henderson.
Ooh.
I'm going Henderson. There's a couple of reasons why. Usually when I get that little feeling in the heart where you're like
a little flutter,
it's like I have a feeling Dan Henderson's going to win it.
It's like the
I said it.
It's like the first time Neil Moss scrapes off your willy. You get that little flutter.
Scrapes off your willy. What are you doing with girls? Scrapes off your willy.
When this was announced, I said Dan Henderson's going to win this fight. I think Bisping, as Pickett said, I think Bisping over 5 rounds will be the better fighter. But there's a couple of things that Bisping still does. He still gets hit. Yeah. He still gets hit. He still moves towards that same hand. He's not.
Never lost on English soil.
Never lost on English soil. Although Matt Hamill, that was shocking. I just think I have that feeling that Henderson's going to land something. I think Henderson. I don't think Bisping's going to be able to finish Henderson, even though Henderson's chin has gone, not fully, but I think it is on its way out. But
he still has recovery there.
He still has recovery. I think there's a lot of pressure on Bisping going into this one. It's his first title defence. Still there's a lot of people saying that, if Luke Rockhold rematched him, Luke Rockhold would win that fight.
Luke Rockhold.
Don't let that one slip.
No. That was funny.
Rockhold. That sounds like a really bad submission to be caught in, doesn't it? What did he win by? Got him by cockhold. What the fuck? What are you watching?
If you ever do like a porn parody of MMA,
Luke Cockhold, yeah.
Brilliant. I just think that Henderson still has that recovery. His chin might be a little bit gone, but he has that recovery. Bisping still gets hit. Henderson still hits like a truck. A lot of pressure going in on Bisping on this one. I think Bisping has changed his style, but it's going to be the same fight as the first fight, where they're both going to stand. Henderson's going to come forward, Bisping's going to try counter, and that didn't work the first time. And I just don't see what Bisping's going to change that's going to drastically change from the first fight. I don't think it's going to be as one-sided, because that first fight, it was literally Bisping backing up and Henderson coming forward. I think Henderson was a better athlete at that time.
Much better
than he is now, but I still just see Henderson being able to land that shot. If it does go more than probably 3.5 rounds, I see Bisping taking over, because Bisping has some of the best cardio in the game. You know, he's probably one of the best fighters at winning over 5 rounds or 3 rounds. He just has that gas tank to keep at the same pace. But I just see Henderson landing something crazy, and I think that division is just so wide open that it's just waiting for another person to win. And then if Henderson either retires or keeps going, he's probably going to lose it in his next fight. It's just it's a weird. I just see it. I just see Henderson landing something, and it's going to be a weird fucking atmosphere in the arena at like 5 a.m.
Suck the atmosphere.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there'll be plenty of Dan Henderson fans there as well. But yeah, that's just what I see happening.
Brad Pickett actually opened my mind. No, not opened my mind. A little bit in what he said about, I look at a fight and I think who's going to win this fight over 5 rounds. And that's a good way to look at a fight, like, isn't it? In hindsight, like, it's a good way of going, if this goes 5 rounds, who's going to be the guy? Bisping's going to be more light on his feet. He's going to get I think he's going to work the jab, try to get in, finish with leg kicks, get out, pepper, get his distance, move away, reset, strike again, and almost antagonise and upset Dan Henderson that he can't get off. You know what I mean? Be that, if you like, the way Carlos Condit beat...
Can't get off.
Carlos Condit beat Nick Diaz. The way he moved, landed shots, landed shots, moved, in that same sort of way.
I think that's going to be the game plan too. I just don't think.
But just that equaliser.
I just don't think he's going to be able to keep it up without getting hit. And I still think Dan Henderson hits very, very hard.
What I think is going to play into this, you went to it a little bit, Rob, was a lot of pressure on the UK. Fighting in the UK, big card, 204, Manchester, defending his title for the first time. But I think a real factor is, and Henderson hasn't had to do that, and Henderson has been living in Bisping's head for a long time now. So all your game plans. I'd say Bisping wakes up every day and goes, Henderson is just coming down and
right now, bollocks out.
But yeah, you missed what I said there, and Henderson's coming down on top of him. I was like, Car's going to pick up on that.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
But, yeah, it's fuck. I was starting this going, Bisping's going to win.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's like I'm on coke. I think people are looking on the camera. I keep doing this.
Yeah.
Have a cold.
Go on out, we're doing fucking barrels of coke. It's actually where you're a scumbag.
You and Tyson Fury and the Jacks.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Bisping. And I'm going to go Bisping TKO in the 4th round.
Very nice.
Now, I know we never do our round picks. The reason I'm doing it is I think the game plan is going to work. I think Bisping will have the discipline not to get embroiled in a bar burner and just throw digs at one another. I think he will he will get away. But what will happen is because he does get hit, when Henderson hits him, how will Bisping react to it? Will he then game plan out the window, let's go for it? And Henderson, let's be honest, we all know if Henderson's going to win, how he's going to win.
Yeah.
Flying triangle. No, it's going to be the big overhand right, or the fucking spinning elbow from fucking the depths of hell. But it's I'm going to go with Bisping, 4th round TKO, retain the title.
I wrote down 4th TKO just as a reminder if it does happen, so you can gloat.
Gloat as you usually do.
I never gloat.
Brad, I'm the only one.
Literally just rewind this podcast.
Don't touch my nuts.
That's a squirrel. Very good. This fucking stupid t-shirt. Back to the fights, I suppose. It's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
The fight in and of itself, Robert, I have that feeling that I got when he fought fucking Hector Lombard. I'm getting that same feeling.
Where we all looked at you going, you're a fucking idiot. What are you picking him for? He's ancient.
I know, and I'm getting that same feeling again, but I think that's just a feeling.
I got a feeling.
Yeah, I think that's just a feeling. He just loves breaking out into song. It's hilarious.
Good now.
We need to make the best of Noel's hits.
Best of Noel's.
We'll make a playlist on Spotify.
I'm bringing out a Christmas album. I told you this already.
But I'm getting that feeling again. But I think that just might be with Dan Henderson, because he has that in the bag, like that you can just fucking hit somebody and the head will explode.
Because you believe in fairy tales, Carl.
That too, and fucking. Nah, never mind. But I was gonna say something vicious now. I better not. But Bisping, I think he definitely needs to game plan the fight. He needs a point score, and he's done that a lot. In his last, pretty much the last half of his career, pretty much. But I just think we've said Bisping doesn't really have it in him to knock people out before, and then he went out and fucking knocked out fucking Luke Cockhold.
Cockhold has a bit of a Cockhold is a bit of a chin, in fairness.
Yeah, he was chinny in that fight for sure. But I do think over the course of 5 rounds, I don't see Bisping knocking out Dan Henderson. I think if Bisping's going to win the fight, it'll be by decision. It'd be bloody as fuck, don't get me wrong. I think it'd be a fucking vicious decision if he does win. But I just think over the course of those 5 rounds, are you telling me that Dan Henderson isn't going to land once or twice? The big punches, and does Bisping have it in him to take that? Bisping, since his fight with Dan, has had a lot more miles on him. And when Bisping was young, he couldn't take that punch. And I think now, with a few more years on him, he still can't take the punch. So I just think over the course of 5 rounds, the fact it's 5 rounds is massive. I think Henderson can land. And I think if he lands, he's going to send Bisping fucking flying. To the shadow realm. To the shadow realm. as much as it hurts me to say, because I
don't get that joke. What's that joke?
It's just been around. Don't really know.
But
there was a gif of Jeremy Stephen putting opponents into the shadow realm, just knocking people out.
Jeff.
Who the fuck is that guy? That's fucking brilliant. But I just think over the course of 5 rounds that Henderson will land at least once, and I think that's all it's gonna take. It hurts me to say, because I am a big fan of Michael Bisping. I do like him, but
you've picked against him the last 2 fucking times anyway.
Did I pick against him against?
I think you picked Cockhold.
I think I did. Yeah, I'm almost certain.
Because Cockhold is
gorgeous. Yeah. I was like, what? But me and Robert are actually the same the whole way down the card. I'm gonna go with Henderson. I think we're gonna have a new middleweight champion. I don't know if he fights after that, but I just think, I've said it so many times, over the course of 5 rounds he'll land. Yeah,
I do think that as well. Bisping, I'm sure he's try to fix not getting hit with that overhand right. He still has been hit by a lot of guys, and not too far ago, 2-3 fights, and he's been hit a couple of times. So I'm sure he's working on that, but I just see him getting hit in that one.
Yeah, everybody says about Bisping, that he's still circling into Dan's big right. Well, he's coming up against Dan Henderson. I'm sure that's something that he's very aware of. Just start circling to the left. I'm sure that's something he's been training on the whole camp for this fight. So it's I'm sure Bisping has made adjustments into his game specifically for this fight.
And he's looked very, very good in his last couple of fights.
That's what I think is intriguing about it, is all the aspects that the three of us have brought up here. I'm intrigued to see how Bisping reacts to the cage door getting closed, because it must be, when somebody has knocked, that is one of the all-time most famous knockouts in UFC history. When that's on your record against someone, that shit's got to play in your mind.
100%.
So it'll be interesting, my word, to see how it goes.
So under the radar.
Look at Rob's already got his out, has he?
Who's going first?
One of you's go first.
Okay. I'm going to go with, we obviously have Marc Diakiese, we had him on the show, that's a great fight, but for me, I am going to go with Albert Tumanov versus Leon Edwards.
Go fuck yourself. Fuck you.
If you want that one, I can pick another one.
No, fuck you, you picked already, your man's a cunt.
Great.
Sorry.
Mrs. Palmer, very sorry.
Anne's a lovely woman.
I'm going to show me mad at now.
Put it as our text message tone, so I don't get it. So just when your man's a cunt.
To be fair, Anne's met me multiple times. She knows exactly.
She knows,
what it's fine.
Yeah.
Right, so go on.
Albert Tumanov against Leon Edwards, good fighter. Albert Tumanov, I actually picked him against Goody Nelson. His last fight, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Great striker. See what adjustments he makes coming back. I really like that fight. That's a good one.
I'll jump there quickly. I'm going to go
Fuck's sake.
Danny Roberts, Hot Chocolate, versus Mike Perry. Interesting to see Mike Perry, because Mike Perry, the scum that he was the last time. Yeah, he done me. He got me over on the pick, and then turned out to be a complete arsehole. So let's hope, you know, he's learned a bit from that, you know. So you can't. What did the corner man say?
Oh Jesus! Something about not being able to see.
Oh, you're gonna kick his ass. He can't even open his eyes properly.
Something I'd say.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
But yeah, I want to see Mike Perry there, and Roberts be a good fight. So that's my under the radar. Again, you got to keep. Perry has knockouts. He's 8-0, and they're all knockouts. So you know, in fairness to him, he might be a dickhead, but he seems to be knocking people out for fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Marc's fight. Marc Diakiese versus Lucas Shevetsky. I don't even know how you say that fucking name, but whatever.
Shevetsky.
Yeah. But yeah, like Marc, he's shaded in black here. Unfortunately, you don't have a picture of him yet. But if anybody watches mixed martial arts and they've been watching the European scene, they know how good Marc is. Yeah. Definitely keep an eye on the fight. With Marc's power, this could be fucking explosive. I'm looking forward to seeing it. That's mine.
Right, so one little piece that the MMA karma gods struck on as well was Paul Harris got absolutely bombed last night, knocked out cold with an uppercut. I think a lot, as much as you obviously don't want to see fighters injured or anything like that, you do like to see some fighters get their comeuppance. And karma played its hand.
That's exactly what that was. That's the perfect word for it, comeuppance. You know, holding on to submissions for too long, it's so fucking dangerous. Like, and it's the fact that he's holding on to like leg locks. Yeah. You know, and like, fuck's sake, leg locks are already shady as it is, and you're holding on to them. Not that you deserve to get knocked out, but when it comes to somebody that's like that, everybody's kind of gonna point and laugh at it.
It's mad though, isn't it? That's 2 in a row now for Paul Harris. 2 knockouts in a row against 2 guys who are like, nobody really knows who they are, not big names. So it's not a good look for Paul Harris.
Michael
So it's, you know, not a good look for Paul Harris. I don't think.
See the picture of him in the lead up and all to it.
Jesus Christ!
He looks like someone inserted a bicycle pump and just pumped
what
him
weight
up.
is he fighting at?
Don't know.
Is he still at middleweight?
I don't know.
He's just. He actually has the physique of a gorilla. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, like he looked so fucking huge. I'm not sure what weight class was
other news away from that this week is the Dubs won the All-Ireland. If you're into your GA, Dublin won the All-Ireland, so the other counties of the country are devastated because it's all our Dublin.
I'm just happy that we sent all them fucking farmers back down to the bog. Fucked a lot of them. And fuck Enda Kenny as well, Mayo Power.
Yeah, we don't all stand by that.
No.
But Enda Kenny is a fucking bollocks anyway. But your
sour face cunt.
Back down to the what was it called? Was on all the news last, the ploughing championships, which is there. Go on, leave us city folk alone. No, it was a big win for Dublin. Good game. I actually watched it. I always watch the Dubs. I'm not big into GAA, but I watch them when they're playing.
Yeah, I'm an absolute bandwagoner when it comes to Gaelic, but fuck.
The complete Facebook post of the week last week was fuck Dublin bus. I'm on the bandwagon and I was fucking in me Dublin jersey. That was a great one. But just a shout out to Brad Pickett and Marc Diakiese for taking the time, especially fight week, to come on and have a chat with us. Best of luck to both men. We'll be cheering you on. Looking forward to watching 204. Cannot wait for 205. Press conference was phenomenal.
Quick thoughts on the card before we leave. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Unbelievable
card. It's insane. It's like,
get that card up there.
It's like the wet dream of fucking fight cards. Like, it's just absolutely phenomenal. Like, and then you got to give it as well while we're there. McGregor was just on fire at the press conference, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I know all day, who the fuck's that guy? Like, that was just brilliant. But the whole thing was just phenomenal. Like, he was on fire.
Love him or hate him, like.
That's something as well, actually.
Chap can talk.
There's big rumours that Conor's retiring after this.
Yeah, saying that he's going to make an announcement out of left field or something, isn't it?
There's a big announcement that, but they're saying it's out of left field, and the thing is, he's saying that sorry, I'm just doing two things at once, and as we all know, men can't do that. they're saying that, you know, it's his family life is suffering because he's away from home so much and stuff. Now, again, this is only rumour. We can only say that this is only rumour. But he always did say, get in and get out.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
he said he's closing in on making 40 million this year.
Yeah.
So if Conor was to do it, well, fair fucking play to Conor.
It's the same with everybody else.
In a selfish way, I'd love to see him not. So, yeah, let's just fight card.
But you also, that's one of them things that, you know, send out that little rumour there. If he wins the fight, you know, even if he loses the fight, take some time off. But if he wins the fight, then, he, you know, as he said, thanks for the cheese, I'm retired. Take 6 months to a year off, vacate your belt. If he ever came back then, could you imagine his next fight? If he's closing in on a 40 million year for 2016, if he retires for a year, you know, and then comes back, could you imagine how much money he'd make?
Yeah, and even if that's the rumour that's going around, you never know with Conor. Like, he could have been putting that rumour out, and then, you know, the UFC are going to be like, oh shit, is he actually retiring? Talks to him, I want a new contract, blah 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 blah.
Exactly. So the card from top to bottom, you've got Liz Carmouche versus Kathleen Cook again.
Go with that, I can't even.
Sounds good. We've got Lyman Good versus Baal Mohammed. Then we got, this is where the fun starts. You got Jim Miller taking on Thiago Alves. We've got Rafael Natal taking on Tim Bosch. We've got Rashad Evans versus Tim Kennedy. And the picture they put up on the UFC, Tim Kennedy needs to hit the sunbeds. Jeez, that is a pale looking Tim Kennedy. Now that's Rashad Evans, former champion, versus Tim Kennedy. Like, that's a 7th and 12 in the rankings, and it's low down the card.
Mental.
We had then got Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Michael Johnson. Then we have Frankie Edgar versus who the fuck's that guy? Jeremy Stevenson. Then we got Misha Tate versus Raquel Pennington. Then we've got Kelvin Gastelum versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone. We got Team Chris Weidman versus Not Forget Jesus, Yoel Romero. And then we have Joanna.
The Polish showdown.
Oh yeah, the Polish. Joanna taking on Carolina. We're going to leave them names for the time being. The Tom's not feeling up for it. Then we got the co-main event is Tyrone Woodley versus Stephen Thompson. And your main event in this historic card and potentially historic moment is Eddie Alvarez versus Conor McGregor. So we'll obviously be talking about that a lot sooner too. We'll be breaking it down, but it's a fucking sick card.
Is that's probably the greatest card they've ever made?
No doubt. No doubt. That's unbelievable.
200 better. Much better.
202 was phenomenal.
If those fights stay there, that's fucking ridiculous.
If every one of them fights live up to the hype, Jesus Christ.
So if you're religious or if you're not religious, pray to the gods. Pray to the MMA gods. The injury bug does not strike.
You said it. That's it. Card's gonna fall apart.
We're writing it up for you now, folks.
Check Twitter.
So brought to you as always by MMAmix.com. If you want all your MMA needs looked after, be it your news, etc., check them out. They're obviously good because they're with obviously Fight Talk. Fight Store Ireland, the fighter's choice for all your fighters' needs in one place. Check them out. If you're looking for hand wraps, if you're looking for your cock to get guarded, they've all that stuff. They've shin pads, they've gloves, they've everything you need. Gum shields, whatever you want, go to them. The best in the business. Check out Fight Store Media as well for all your footage as well. Welcome aboard to us. The beautiful Whiskey Fair. Thanks as always, and say your good afternoons.
Good afternoons.
See ya.
Dublin, you've been magical, you've been beautiful. 205. I'm waiting for you. You see the memes actually of Pablo Escobar, all the memes of Pablo Escobar just sat at a table. It's like me waiting on 205. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you. Check us out, Fight Store. Fight Store. Check us out on all your media. It's obviously Fight Talk. At Talk underscore. At underscore. See, let me say it. At Talk underscore Fight on Twitter. Hit us up on YouTube and stuff as well. So, peace. Thanks to everyone. Love.